Hey everybody. Today's not going to be like on a topic or anything. It's just going to be kind of like an update. I kind of want to do these things as often as I can, kind of let everybody know how I'm doing. But it's also more for me. I don't know. I think maybe it's a therapy thing, but I just feel that way. I'm on I-10 just outside of Houston, getting ready to go. Take I-10 to I-12. I'm going to go around New Orleans. Then I'm going to hit I-59, take I-59 all the way up to where it combines to I-20 and I-20 up to I-24, I-75, I-40, somewhere around Knoxville. Don't think I'll make all that today, but tonight that's kind of the game plan for the next couple hours. So I've got one of those magically impossible loads that they give you. They give me 3 days to go 2,000 miles, and in some trucks you could probably pull that off, but not in mine. Mine's governed at 64. Going downhill with a full load, unbalanced, I can get 76, but it's only going to last about a half a second. But 64, 65, and I don't even run that fast. I run 61, 62 because I always want to leave room for a blowout on the steer. The best thing to do is give it a little fuel to kind of pull your nose up so that you can guide it off to the side of the road. So, I don't want to max out my cruise or max out my speed up against the governor. So 61, 62 is where I'm at. So I'm playing with numbers today, but that being said, basically what I'm trying to come across here is that my time is going to be limited for the next couple of days. I'm going to have to sleep and run, kind of pull off some tricky math. We have different rules in trucking. You can sleep 7 hours, run, and then you got to shut down 3 more hours someplace else, and you do that for an 8-2 split as well. But you don't always get everything back. I'm running on recaps. Recaps is you only can run 70 hours a week, and after you're over 70, you're supposed to shut down for 34. But if you never get to 0, you can keep running. But that you have a tendency not to run long in those days. Well, I'm running about 9 hours a day, but this run's going to require me to run a lot more than that. So it's just going to be the next couple of days is going to be kind of rough. Trying to, I ran a lot last night. I ran until about 4 a.m. Shut down. That being said, I'm trying to switch that around. I deliver at 12:30, so I can't keep running at night. I've got to kind of shift that back around to where, but at the same time, you get your hours back at midnight. So it's going to be a balancing act. I really don't see me finishing this load. I mean, I'm going to give it my 110%, do everything I can, but I really see this load probably, they're going to come in with a team, which is 2 people driving. They can keep the truck running longer. One sleeps while the other drives. I feel like there's probably going to be a team grab this at some point and take this on in. But, I don't really care. As long as I get my total number of miles that I want at the end of the week, which is around 3,000, I don't care. I don't care if I run 3,000 on this load or 6 loads. I don't care. So it doesn't bother me. I just, I've got a responsibility to the company to put as much forth as possible. But as a trucker, you learn that your first responsibility is to your CDL. Dispatch will put you in these situations, and then they want you to work magic. You can't always work magic. Sometimes you just got to go, it's not possible. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to run illegal. I'm not going to speed. And I'm going to put my truck in a situation, and I'm not going to run tired, fatigued. I mean, those are disasters. Your first responsibility as a truck driver is to protect the people around you. You want to protect the motoring public. You don't want to put anybody at risk. You have to constantly evaluate where you're at in these situations. Are you tired? You need to get out and walk around. What do you got? At the same time, you got a little bit of business to accomplish on that end too. I'm getting quite a bit of views on my channel, and I'm kind of surprised at that. I didn't think anybody really would listen to what I have to say, but thank you, I guess, for watching. Getting some good comments from people friends I've made over the years. I appreciate that. You know, I've had some DMs about my hats. I switch hats a lot. I do switch hats a lot. Hats are kind of, you know, you sitting for a while, you kind of flip them around. And I wear a toboggan in really cold weather, so I want to protect my ears. I wear my baseball caps a lot, and I wear I call it a straw hat. Some people call it a cowboy hat. It looks like a cowboy hat, but it's just straw. I bought this when I was out in California. One of the big advantages of this is it protects you from a lot of the sun, like if you're driving on a sunny day, but it's got, you know, because it's weaved, there's a lot of places for wind to come in and out, so you kind of feel like you got a breeze. You know, it's kind of like a bonnet, a breeze going on there, but it feels good. So I don't care what I look like. You guys mind. You'll see days I'm clean shaven. You'll see days where I got that little rust. You'll see this grow now a little bit, because I don't shave every time that I take a shower. Some people do. Some people shave every day. Some people dry shave. Yeah, I don't care. It is what it is. I'm kind of a simple person. I'm not, you know, I'm married, kid and grandkid. I'm sick. So, you know, as long as I try to keep my body healthy and, you know, make Stephanie happy. She hates beard, so, you know, they do serve a purpose. And that cold spell we had, I had a little bit of a beard, and it did keep my face warm. So they do serve a purpose, and sometimes I will keep a beard for a longer period of time based on the weather. But most of the time I'm like this, which is where I was shaving like 2 or 3 days ago. Keeps you scrubbing. So anywho, I'm in my truck getting ready to pull out. I got a message from my company saying we need to run as much as humanly possible. I just want to shoot back some feedback that they probably wouldn't like, but you know, I understand where they're coming from, but I have to make a decision of what I think is humanly possible, and that's what I'm going to do. Also, I should get to come home next week. My birthday is next week, and I got to renew my CDL license, and I'm wanting to come home next week. And you know, this week would probably been better. I think the weather back home is probably better now than what's supposed to be next week. I don't know. But that's kind of where my thought process is. You know, just get this run. Let's get up to Pennsylvania as close to it as possible, and then we'll get some. You know, should get a load closer to home, and then go on home time for. I think it's probably about 5 days. But I don't get to go home as often as I want. It's the really one thing about trucking that I don't like. Trucking is very much a seniority-based industry. You start out with starter companies that take people that are recent grads, and some people stay with those companies for long periods of time. They don't want to move on. Kind of like a spiritual growth. Some people stay on milk. And then you got other companies, but you got to have experience to get those jobs. You got to have like a year to get, you know, it opens up a lot more jobs after a year. 2 years opens up even better jobs. And then some of the most elite carriers want you to have at least 3. They want you to get all your learning, you know, whatever, all your mistakes, whatever. They want you to get all that over with. But they pay you better, and you know, you go on. But with that, the better companies can get you home more often. you got a little bit of leverage. If you can get hired on at some of the better companies, then you got the leverage to move to a different company that will get you home. So there's a little bit of a, capitalism going on there, supply and demand. But the starter companies that were out there, you don't always get that leeway. So you're trying to build that reputation, you're trying to build the experience, and they kind of got you over barrel to the extent. So you're normally out long periods of time. They want us to stay out 5 weeks at a time. That's what mine's going to be this time. I try to do 3 weeks, but they always find an excuse to keep me out. I don't think they like 3 weeks. They say you can do 3 weeks. Oh yeah, you can go home every 3 weeks, but something comes up every time. I got pushed off 2 weeks, and I'm scheduled to go home next week, and it's not a guarantee. We'll see. I want to, because I've got a lot of stuff I need to do back home, but it's not always up to me. So anyhow, that's one of the things about trucking, that I'm away from my wife a lot. She's definitely capable of doing everything on her own. It's not that. It's just I miss her. I miss being home. I miss being part of everybody's lives. The little things that happen day to day, that the little conversations, the little laughters, the things that happen. You miss that. But we're working towards that till we get home more. So that's kind of where I'm at today. I just kind of wanted to throw some stuff out there about trucking, because that's actually what this channel is about. But I will throw in religion, and I will throw in some other comments as time goes on, because they are very important to me. But here I am in Texas, getting ready to go into Louisiana, and we're getting ready to, it's still beautiful here. It's 78 degrees right now. But my path, like I say, I'm going up to Knoxville, and then I'm going to take 40 to I-81, and I-81 is going to do a little sweep all the way up to Pennsylvania. And the weather right through there is not as good as it is here. So, as a truck driver, I pack short sleeves, long sleeves, sweaters, you layer, you got a coat, you got a sweatshirt you put on, you put the coat on, kind of way it goes. You just layer and go on. So. But anywho, that's kind of my thoughts today. Just wanted to get something out there for everybody, so I can keep growing my channel. Because when I do, there are some things I do want to get out there, and I want people to hear, and I want to spread God's word and stuff. So the more people I have on the channel, that's actually a positive, even though it kind of scares me some that people actually listening to me. But it is what it is. I'm also going to kind of do some side notes of trucking, because I do have diabetes. I have type 2, actually diabetes. My last A1C was a 7.7. We want to try to keep that at a 7.0. And as a trucker, that's a challenge in itself. I mean, you're looking, especially right now with this big storm in Texas, you don't necessarily get to go into a truck stop and pick what you want to eat. You go into a truck shop and they say, hey, this is what we got, take it and go. So the last couple of weeks I've not done really good with my sugar levels, because I just haven't had healthy choices. But basically how I manage that is I manage my carbs. I try to limit the amount of carbs I take, which in turn limits the amount of sugar I take. You have to have some sugar and you have to have some carbs, so you can't cut all that out. It's just not healthy, and it actually, I think the dietitian that I talked to said it would actually be worse. So I try to limit my carbs. I drink diet sodas, I drink a lot of water. That helps. I've actually gained a little weight since I started trucking. I'm trucking now for about 16 months. gained a little weight, but I'm wearing smaller jeans, and my belt loops are, you know, keep going in. So you would, I think at times I fool myself and tell myself I'm actually losing weight. So I don't know. It's definitely not going to muscle, folks. I'm just telling you right now. My activity, you know, I remember throwing feed bags at Southern States and Cargill, and yeah, I know what muscles are. I had some then. I don't have a lot right now. You know, my biggest thing is sometimes I have to crawl to the back of the truck and put cargo bars in, or, you know, I drop a dolly down to unhook a trailer. I just don't do a lot of physical. So there's not a lot of muscle there. So I'm not really sure, you know, but that's one of the things that I work on. That's one of the things that I focus on as a trucker is my diet. And I just don't exercise enough. It's just not, I don't know. Is it possible? I don't know. Just depends on what level of energy you want to put into it, I guess. But anywho, I just wanted to point that out there. Sometimes I'm probably going to throw some tidbits of information or something out about the diabetes and sugars and things like that as well. Another challenge that I have as a truck driver that some people might not is, you know, I'm an older person. I'm not old, not retired, by no means. I still got 20 years worth of work in me before I can sit back and sit in that rocking chair. But as an older person starting out in trucking, I'm doing the jobs that a lot of people who are younger would normally go through, and then when the time they get my age, they've got some of the better jobs. So a little behind there. I'll talk about that a little bit over time. Sleep in a bunk behind me. The top bunk, as you can see, I use for storage. Bottom bunk is kind of my bed. It's a mess. I keep some supplies at my foot, and then I sleep up here. I spend a lot of time in the back bunk because I've got, flip this around, I got a TV, so I kind of sit back here and watch TV some. Baby wipes, boys, that's like, couldn't ask for better things than a baby wipe. Use those a lot. But I stay back here a lot. A lot of truck drivers kind of like to stay in the front seat. They don't like to come back here. You know, this is off time, on time. They feel like they got to be in the seat. I don't. If I'm stopping and I'm unloading, I'm probably in the bunk. Just to say, that's me. But that's really about all I want to talk about today. I'm going to be pushing myself, so I might not post for a couple days, or if I do post, it's probably going to be short like this one, just to let everybody know what's going on. So, you know, it is what it is. Continue to pray for revival of our country. We really need God's people to waken up. We need the people who are fighting a battle every day to continue to fight, and we need to lift them up in prayer. And then, you know, the backslider, we need him to get saved again, and we need him to engage and do the right thing. And then the hypocrite, there's probably more hypocrites out there than what people really think. And if you're lukewarm in your experience, you're probably a hypocrite. And it's a negative term that we've heard over the years, but I use it as just a point of information. You know, if you're not fully committed to God and you're not doing God's will, but yet you express it and you are visible at church or at church functions or what have you, you know, you're probably a hypocrite. And I don't, like I say, I'm not making it a derogatory term. It's just a point of information. If your experience is lukewarm, you're definitely a hypocrite. So been there, done that. I know, you know, I'm not calling anybody something that I've not walked in the shoes of, because I have. But there's a lot going on out there in society. We got a lot of people out of work. We got a lot of people hurting. We got a lot of people, you know, still going through a pandemic. I saw a post. Ooh, got up close there, didn't I? Don't want to do that. You don't want to see any nose hairs. I saw on Facebook the other day some people posting pictures where they're in different parts of the country and they're not wearing masks, and I saw other people just kind of, whoa, why are they not wearing a mask? Blah, 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 blah. Just to be thrown out there, make sure different parts of the country are kind of open now, especially out in the western states. They're not wearing the mask and stuff. So I say that because I know a lot of people are worried about that. A lot of people have some anxiety referring to mask and the pandemic and stuff. So we need to keep praying for those people. Not that they're wrong, but that's a burden that they feel at this point. We need to help lift any kind of burden someone might have. We also have a lot of people in our country that are still supporting abortion. We need to pray for those people, change of heart, change of mind. Really, we just need to pray that the Holy Spirit puts conviction upon their heart, and they feel the love of God, and they don't feel like it's necessarily something that they want to then do is to kill a baby before it's born. So let's keep praying for our country. Let's keep praying for each other. I'm sure if you look to your right and to your left, to your front, and maybe even behind you, you're probably going to find 6, 7, possibly 10 people that need prayer. It's just that prevalent at this point. So make sure you take time and pray for people around you. There's a song, a Christian song out there, I can't think of the name of it, but it says we want our missions to be overseas. And oftentimes we do that, don't we? We want, we want to send money to a situation, we want to pray for a distant country, and sometimes we forget that in our own backyard is where the need is the most. So don't forget the people around you, your family. If everybody got their family involved in church and got their family saved, wouldn't the whole world be saved? I mean, your outreach doesn't have to be further than the people that you're the most comfortable with sometimes. I'm also a firm believer when I first got saved that you needed to ask which gas station to go to fill your car up, because God might want you to talk with somebody that's getting gas as well, about them. Maybe there's a pastor from Virginia that was in Malawi to come to Georgia to take a reprieve, needs to talk to you. I believe that. So, that being said, we need to pray and we need to talk to people, and we just need to show the kindness. I do believe that actions speak louder than words, that we can talk about God, we can talk about the great things that He's done, but the truth is, the more we do, the more we show, the more influence we're going to have. And I think that's very important. The experience can't be lukewarm. Read your Bible, pray, put yourself in other people's shoes, have compassion. These are all worthy. I think it's a good word there. Things for us to do. I've had a lot of people influence me over the lives, but I love history. I had a great history teacher in high school, Dana Thomas. She's a Blankenship now, I think. She's a sweet lady. She went on to be principal at some of our local schools. But she loved history, and that love kind of rubbed off on me, and I just love history. So I say that to say that there's a lot of lessons that we've already learned as a country, as a society, as a religion, that somehow we've forgotten. And all we had to do is go back and revisit those situations, and we can see and we can identify a lot of what's going on today. I had a person tell me, I can't remember who, one of the things you're going to realize through these is my memory is just not what it used to be. I used to have a perfect memory. I could remember the page that I read. I could go down and just recall a definition off a page in when I was in school, and I could just word for word pick that right off the page. I used to have that good of a memory. I don't now. It's one of the things that as I've gotten older that has diminished for me. And with that, I done forgot what I was going to say. There you go. But we need to focus on the lessons already learned. Let's quit making the same mistakes. Let's learn. We need leaders. We need people who can stand up and do that. You know, we need people who can set the line straight for everybody, not with a whip, but with tenderness. I just believe that, just in my heart. We need people to stand up and be counted, and we need people all across the country to listen to one another and understand the situations that we're going through. We all have a day, and that's a saying I live by. People come up to me and go, "Man, I've had the worst day." You have, but we all have a day. You know, I'm not saying yours is worse than mine, or that yours doesn't need to be, you know, I don't need to be sympathetic to your day, but just, you know, everybody lives through stuff, believe it or not. There's a Daryl Worley song, I think, out there about, you know, this sounds like life to me. You know, one guy's just wanting to pour his heart out about how hard his life is, and then, you know, he's saying, "Hey man, this sounds like life. You know, what you're going through is kind of like what everybody else does." You know, I think there's a lot to that. We all have a day. So anyhow, let's pray for each other. Let's uplift each other. Pray for me. You know, I need it definitely. I don't want to get anybody hurt out here. I know I'm just out here trying to make a living. I'm not out here to do anything special. I'm a nobody. I'm just a nobody trying to tell everybody. You know, about somebody who's Jesus. I love that song. It's a song, I can't remember who sings that right now, but it's just a great song. Anywho, I gotta go, gotta run, gotta get started. Don't know when I'm going to be able to connect again. Hopefully, you know, maybe I'll do these in the middle of the night. Who knows? You know, I've done them in the afternoons, and the whole background fades to black on me. I'm not really sure how that goes. But anyhow, I love you guys, truly. If you're just a friend of mine that's popped up that we've met in the past, maybe a truck driving school, I've got some good friends there that I still connect with. Maybe we went to high school together, maybe we've worked together over the years, you know, hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I can't do it like Joey. Joey had a good way of doing that. How you doing? I don't know. Can't pull that off. Yeah, start one of my talents. But anyhow, listen, God bless everybody. Have a good day. And, you know, stay positive. Stay positive. What's the alternative, right? Stay positive. You got this. God bless everybody.